Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your voice of the Red Wolves, Isaiah Hoffman, and I have a very special episode for you guys here today. I am with two members of the women's cross country team. I'm here with Cassie and Evie. How are you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you? Doing good?
Yeah.
Doing good? All right, we are going to just get in straight to it. First, I'll start with how was your Thanksgiving break for both of you?
It was pretty good.
And saw some family, did the whole family events.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was very relaxing, a nice break from school, and got to see some family members, and yeah.
That's good to hear. We're just going to get right into it, guys. We'll just, start off, I guess, brief. Where'd you guys grow up? Where did you guys, I guess, get into cross country and stuff like that?
Okay, I'll go first. So I came from Huntingburg, Indiana, and I went to Southridge High School, and I got into cross country from my mom, and then I've been doing it since elementary, and there's this camp, so I've just been in for it for like a long time.
Gotcha.
I'm from Pickle, Ohio, about like an hour from here, so not too bad. It was like probably junior high, and I was not really sure what I wanted to do. My parents were like, you need to stay in a sport. You can't be doing nothing around here. And then I remember doing the community 5Ks and stuff, and they're like, why don't you just go try cross country? So I went out there and I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. I kind of like it.
So was there any sports other than cross country growing up? You said you've been doing it since elementary.
Yep.
So I've never heard that, so that was a little new to me. So was there any other sports besides cross country that you guys maybe had an interest in?
I did soccer. I feel like I did a little bit of everything. Volleyball, I swam some. I never did basketball though. That one my sister always played that one. I was like, I'm gonna stay away from that. But
any of those you probably liked the least?
Maybe volleyball. I felt like volleyball,
okay.
for me personally, was too slow paced, I guess, and I wanted something more active.
Okay, interesting.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. What about you?
I played basketball until high school, and then I also played softball until high school, and then I played track all the way through high school, and then I swam in middle school, and then I played soccer in elementary, so a lot of sports. And that was about it, but I played cross country and track all throughout high school and right now. So it was a lot of sports.
So why was cross country, I guess, ultimately the favorite? I mean, you've been doing it since elementary, so I guess I can understand why it would probably be the favorite. But besides, I guess, that reason, why was cross country the pick over all the other sports you guys participated in?
I feel like for me, it kind of pushed myself more individually, and it just pushes you to limits where I feel like some sports, you're always going to you have nothing left in the tank, and it's just always something to do.
Gotcha.
I feel like since I've been doing it my whole life, and since I have a reason for doing it for my family, I have always been wanting to have a purpose, and I just want to give it my all, and I just always wanted to do something. And I feel like running, this gives me a purpose.
Gotcha. So you both mentioned that you guys were transfers before you came to IU East. Can you talk about, I guess, those first, I guess for you would be 2 years, for you would be one, those first years in college, adjusting to being an athlete but also being a student, and what helped you, I guess, grow better on both sides, on and off the field? Track,
Yeah, so originally I went to a school in North Carolina. It was a pretty small D2 school. I thought I wanted to go far away from my family, get away. But I quickly found I feel like I missed my family a lot more. And that's when I opened up and I was like, I don't know if I want to go back for another year. The team dynamic there was very small. I didn't feel like we were a team there. And so then when I heard about IU East, I knew some friends that were here, and then they're like our team's it's growing, we're building, and they're like, you really should come here. And ever since then, I feel like it's the perfect fit for me.
Gotcha. Evie, what about you?
Well, I transferred from Oakland City University, and I wanted to come to IU East because it was a very small college, and I was interacting with some of the other runners, and it was just they were very welcoming, and their campus was very appealing to me, and me and my sister talked about it, and it was just very good for us, and we liked the class sizes. Even though it was similar to Oakland City, we found it that we liked this one a lot better, and that it was more suited for our degree compared to our other school.
Gotcha.
So.
And I guess that was going to be my question later on, but I guess I'll get into it now. What are both of your guys' majors?
Yeah, I think we both have the same major, right?
Yeah.
Health science major.
Health science. So what's
yeah.
the goal? What's the goal with that major maybe when you get out of IU East?
I'd like to go to physical therapy school, so
Okay.
continue education after here.
Mine's athletic training.
So.
Athletic training. All right. Those are
Yeah.
some good careers. But we'll go ahead. Let's get into the season. This was a big season for you guys. The team made it to nationals. You guys also went to nationals separately, I do believe, as well, for separate events. So just kind of talk about the goals you had before the season and kind of what you wanted to accomplish by yourself, but also in a team setting as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually was very last minute coming here, so I felt like I came in not really sure what to expect, but after the first meet, we placed like reasonably well within like the conference, and we saw like we had like good potential of making it to nationals, because to get to nationals, you had to win your conference.
Yep.
And so I feel like ever since then, it gave like the team good motivation and an atmosphere like at practice to push each other in order like to get to that nationals, like we ended up doing.
Gotcha.
So whenever we got here, whenever we got with the team, I really wanted to push myself for everyone, and I felt like that it was more needed, that it was the time needed to really push yourself, and I feel like if we won the conference, that would definitely be our goal. And I felt like if we got our PRs almost every other meet, that would be our goal. So my personal goal would be to always work harder every single practice, to stay up with nutrition and with the hygiene, and to have good sportsmanship with everyone on the team. So.
Gotcha. When you look at, I guess, the season also, obviously with the positives, there probably were also some negatives. Can you talk about those negatives as well? And I guess, working to overcome those, something from last season that you knew, okay, I need to work on this to not only make myself better, but also be better for the team as well.
Yeah, so I feel like for me personally, the middle races, I'm always not the strongest. So throughout even like our workouts, like in those middle, when like you kind of want to like give up, like you have to remember that you're not only like running for yourself now, like you also have those like other people on your team that are relying on you to run that like good race and like finish well for them too.
I feel like that you have to remember that cross country is not only an individual sport, but about a team race, and that you score as a team. So every spot counts, and that the end kick is important. And I just need to work on that. And that I have anxiety, and I don't really open up to people. So by not opening up, that stresses the whole team out, and that stresses me out, and that stresses our teamwork out. So I'm just trying to open up more about anxiety and communication.
Gotcha. All right. Those are some good goals. And I guess this season for you guys, when I talked to Coach Teberg earlier in the year, he's kind of talked about how the program, year by year continues to build. And, just like last year when the men won the conference title, you guys getting the conference title this year, how big of an accomplishment was that for you guys personally, achieving that conference title? Obviously, you were at Oakland City, so you kind of realized, the competition in the RSC, also with Shawnee State joining. So how rewarding, I guess, was that conference title for you guys before we talk about nationals?
Yeah, I think it was like something, honestly, coming in the season, I don't know if really anyone expected. Like, I think we were seeded 6th in the season at the beginning. So, like, coming in and, like, being able to get that first place finish at the end was, like, really rewarding and made it seem like all those workouts that were, like, really did pay off.
I think it was definitely really unexpected, in that since all the other teams in that our team wasn't really unexpected to seeded first, and that I felt like that everyone was definitely very happy about the results and that all of our hard work paid off.
Gotcha. And then last but not least, just kind of talk about nationals for you guys, not your personal experience, and then also just the team and the atmosphere, the setting, because I've never been to, I guess, a really big stage, so I'm always interested to see, what's the difference from, volleyball, who also went to nationals, and just how was the experience for you guys at nationals?
Yeah, so team-wise, I feel like it was definitely like a whole new experience of like bonding, because we're like together for like 5 days straight or 6 days, however long we were. So I feel like we really grew as a team and became a lot closer. And then more so on the racing side of things, like that start of the race, like that race line or the start line, it was like, I don't know if there's so many people. I think there were like 330, maybe a little more than that in our race. So like that start line, when we all started, it was like so congested. I don't know if I've ever had like an experience like that before in a race.
It definitely did not feel like it was real. Cause
I was just about to ask that. I was like, it probably
did not
felt
feel
surreal
real.
for a moment, yeah.
Whenever I was at Oakland City, I did not expect the transfer. So like we had this whole plan, definitely did not expect to make it to nationals. So whenever we got there, it was just unbelievable. And racing up to 330 people with other girls, with everyone on the team, it was just amazing. And it was probably the best race ever. And like it or not, it was a really hard course, and definitely got PR there for a 6K. And harder courses definitely challenge you, and that's the best part about it.
Well, thank you guys for joining me for this interview. Congratulations once again on nationals, and congrats to the whole cross-country team on getting to nationals. That is going to do it. We'll be back to talk to the men's cross-country team in just a moment here on Inside IUE Sports.
Let's shine by seeing the best in all of us and by looking out for everyone's well-being. Let's shine by staying true to ourselves while surging toward the future. Let's shine with the best care possible and by treating you here, right in your hometown. Let's look out for each other. Let's stay healthy. Let's shine together.
A spark, an invitation into the world of the unknown. It moves us to change, to grow. It asks us to dream bigger. An idea is better shared. It ignites us, and we make each other bright. We can do great things together.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to this cross-country edition of Inside IUE Sports. Once again, I'm Isaiah Hoffman, and I am here with two members of the cross-country team. How are you guys doing today?
Not too bad.
Doing good?
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right, we are going to get into it today. We'll just start off like we did with the women there, just start off with something brief. Where did both of you guys grow up?
I grew up in Farmland, Indiana. It's like 45 minutes north of Richmond here. Went to Monroe Central High School. Enjoyed it.
You did?
I did.
All right, all right, I like it. Keeping it brief. What about you?
I went to Centerville High School, so that's 10
Right
minutes
there,
away
yeah.
from there. Yeah, and I did cross country. I wrestled. I did track.
Gotcha. Did you do any sports besides?
In high school, it was
Cross-country?
just cross country and track. So,
Just cross
yep.
country and track. All right. So I guess we'll get into, besides the athletic side of it, did you enjoy high school for the time you were there? Because I know you went to Centerville and then you Farmland, Indiana. So how was, I guess, your guys' high school experience? Did you guys enjoy it? Was it mostly for the sports side of things? And at the end of the day, why was cross country ultimately the pick for both of you guys?
I did enjoy high school. I met a lot of good people there. Met a lot of friends I'm still close with today in high school. So that was awesome. Awesome experience there. I mean, everybody hates their classes in high school, but I I could take everything else from the athletic side of things, and we had a great cross country team in high school, and had a lot of my friends on that team, so I did enjoy that. And as far as what made cross country the right sport for me, I think it was just the competitive nature of the sport. I mean, it really is just one-on-one a lot of times, you against the guy next to you, and I think that drew me to the sport because I'm a very competitive person in nature. So I just felt like the right fit for me.
What about you?
I loved high school. I loved every little bit of it.
So did I.
Yeah,
I think
great.
the only year I didn't really like truly was probably like freshman year, because I think it was just an adjustment period. But besides that, I enjoyed, even like when COVID got involved, it was just, I enjoyed all my high school years.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like during COVID, I was fine.
Like, it was fine, yeah.
Yeah, I was just playing Call of Duty while I was on Zoom calls. You know what I mean?
So I'll let you go back to what you were saying. Just kind of the high school. Why'd you enjoy it, and also the athletic sides of things.
So I enjoyed. Well, I only did cross country my freshman year, and I wasn't really like. I wasn't into cross country until junior year. I was mainly a wrestler.
Okay.
For
Gotcha.
like my first, junior high until probably senior year. And the final factor for wanting to do cross country in college was just finally being successful in it.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then wrestling, I wasn't really that successful, but
But you enjoy
but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I associated more with the wrestlers. I didn't really like my people in cross. Well, not saying that actually. I really liked my cross country people, but I really associated with the wrestlers at my school. So
Gotcha.
it was interesting coming here, being in cross country, because I absolutely love these people. They're great.
All right. Well, I do want to ask this, because you both said you did track in high school. What's the difference for you guys, or what's the difference there with track and cross country? Because I know some people will get it crossed up, and from people that I've talked to, they've all given different reasons as to why they prefer one or the other, or why they prefer to do both. So why for you guys why did you guys prefer cross country more, I should say?
I guess I preferred cross country more because, truthfully, the team was always better in high school in cross country than track. So
That's
we never really
that's
competed
fair.
for much in track, but cross we were always going to be up there trying to win. So that was always my reasoning.
I always liked the competitive nature of it. Well, I mean, both are competitive,
Yeah.
but in cross country, there's more factors that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
How big the course is, how flat the course is. You can really.
You really got to push yourself
Yeah.
to that last gear, basically.
Yeah.
And
And that's what I like about it.
Okay.
And you also got to worry about your team, how your team finishes. So here we got a good team. We're capable of it, and I can trust my guys to go forward. And that's what I like about it.
Gotcha. So you guys were both, well, technically juniors academically, but you guys were freshmen pretty much last year. How was that first year of college? I guess balancing out schoolwork, being an athlete, having to travel, stuff like that. Where did you eventually find your balance? Are you still working on finding that balance? And where did you finally find that level of being comfortable adjusting to both and doing both?
I think I find that balance, like, it changes every week depending on what I'm doing that week.
true.
Like some weeks I got to prioritize, academics over, everything else, and I've just really got to zone in on that, and other weeks are more free to, think more about running or, something else and have more fun that week. I think it changes every week. Freshman year coming in, I was kind of overwhelmed, but luckily I just kind of, sat down with myself like, all right, you've always been a good student. You've always been 4.0. Let's just, keep that going. And I kind of just talked myself through that, and it worked out. So I think, lucky in that regard.
I'm the same way, except, not the 4.0.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not me either.
Yeah. So I was the same way. It's just a week by week kind of thing. And, oh, man, going from really not trying too hard in high school. I was trying, but probably could have put in a little bit more effort.
I think that's what everyone kind of felt like.
Yeah, yeah. So going from there to instantly being on some sort of struggle in college, it was different. Every single time going on the bus, I was reading. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
So 5-hour bus ride. Oh well, looks like I'm going to be doing a research project. So like there was that. So yeah.
Gotcha. How was, I know when I talked to Coach Tebrick, he's always talked about, I guess writing a story, writing a book. He kind of phrased it like that, just kind of building the program up. What, I guess, brought you into the program basically? When you had that visit, what really captured you about the program that made you want to be here?
Well, I think his passion for the sport and for this program bleed through in every conversation with him. I mean, still to this day, I remember just, being kind of encapsulated with the idea of like this program can be successful. And I committed at a time where the program wasn't successful, if that makes sense. I don't think anybody would have really predicted us to make the rise as suddenly and as quickly as we did. But from the first time I met Coach Teberg, I just kind of knew like, okay, any program that he's involved with is going to be successful. And, that's kind of how I took off.
I agree with that. Now, coming here, I knew I was going to go to IU East just because, I'm from Centerville.
It was just
an easy choice.
And you know what, that makes sense because when I go to call the soccer games, there's a IU East poster, right across from the soccer field. So that makes a lot of sense.
So it was an easy choice. It was an easy choice. And then on top of Coach being like, oh, well, we got like all these recruits and that you guys are going to be competitive, it was something that I never really knew because like in high school, I really wasn't that competitive. I never raced Tucker. It was just, I had like 3 guys in the conference that I had to compete with. No one really from my team. So it was different in that regard. And whenever I finally got here and was able to compete with everybody, it was so fun. It was so great. And we grew together through it.
Gotcha. We'll get into, we'll go into last season and we'll also talk about this season more personally though for you guys. Last season, what were some positives from last season and what were also some negatives? Like coming into this season, you knew, okay, I have to fix this if I want to be better not only for myself but also the team.
I think just staying more mentally positive was like my number one thing that I've been working on. It's a constant battle every day. I think anybody that struggles with mental health can tell you like it's not something that's easy to do. It's not something that you're going to be able to get right 100% of the time. And that was my big thing. I had days last year and still this year that I'm like, oh, I just don't want to be awake right now. I just want to go home. But it's fighting that constantly and trying to put on your best face, your best performance 100% of the time, but knowing that when you don't, it's okay. It's human to make mistakes and, trying to be just, overall more team focused than individual focused through that kind of method was, a big thing that I tried to work on.
I think my big thing was because I feel like I was fairly successful throughout my freshman year, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And there weren't really a lot of negatives on my part whenever it came to the running portion. What came was the academic portion. Was trying to, because I was really struggling whenever it came to finding a balance between everything. So what my struggle really became was finding that really good balance. And for the most part, I've found that. It's still going to come up, but it was mainly finding that balance. Gotcha.
And we've kind of discussed it. You have kind of found that balance, correct? So that's always good to hear. So last season for both of you, you guys would say was very successful. We know how successful it was for the team. Something that kind of altered that, I guess, success from last year to this year was the introduction of Shawnee State. You guys did do very well this year as well, but for you guys personally, both of you going to nationals, can you guys talk about that experience? How was it for both of you guys? The setting, I know we just had the women in here. They said it was very, when you walk in, it just kind of feels surreal for a second just because there's so many other runners there. Can you guys talk about that experience and what was going on in your head mentally and how did you, I guess, kind of find that peace before you got ready to run?
It's hard to find peace when there's
I get it. Yeah. So I guess just a level of I don't know, calmness or something. I don't know.
I just try to remember at the end of the day, these are 330 people that are, going through the same thing I'm going through at the moment. Like, it is an overwhelming stage, but obviously we've been there And so, you can kind of take solace in the fact that, like, it's not different than what we did last year. It's, it's the same thing. I've been through it once. But also, everyone on that line's feeling the same way you are. No one's going in 100% confident when there's 329 guys beside them, right? I mean, everyone's thinking, like, man, this is a big field. So I took some happiness, and also the fact that, I made nationals. There's always that boost confidence-wise, too.
It was a little different for me because that whole entire time I was unsure. Like, am I going to try and do something that I've never done here before? And it was a struggle. Like, the night before, I was unconfident. And then the morning of, I was just pumped, ready to do everything that I was able to do. And it didn't pan out the way I wanted to. But it was nice to find solace in the fact that, like, other River States Conference, this is a completely different tangent, but other River States Conference people were there, like, helping me and cheering me on. So, like, some of the Shawnee State people, like, one of them said, oh, yeah, good luck tomorrow, all that stuff. And the Midway caucuses. So they were, we talked for like 15 minutes before. Yeah, that's great. I didn't really talk much to the Rio Grande people, but I know they were in support.
So it was just all the teams in the conference
Yeah.
kind of came together supporting everyone. So that's a good feeling to have, no doubt. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me for this interview. I appreciate you guys once again. Congratulations on making it to nationals, and hopefully there is more success to come in the next couple of years. But that is going to do it for our cross-country episode for Inside IUE Sports. We will see you guys next time for the next episode.